If you have received an invitation letter for a job, then congratulations. And if you want to impress the interview panel, you have to prepare thoroughly. In this video, you will be able to understand on how to prepare for an interview, how to attend the interview, how to groom yourself for an interview, what are the expectations, and last about the remote interviews. The most important thing to remember about any interview is that it is a two-way process. It is as much about you find out whether you want to work for the company as them finding out whether they want you. This means it is important to present yourself as you really are, not pretend to be something you are not.
Preparing for an interview primarily means taking time thoughtfully to consider your goals and qualifications relative to the position and employer. To accomplish this, you should perform a research on the company and carefully review the job description to understand why you would be a good fit. Preparing for an interview might seem intimidating, but there are several steps that you can take to prepare for a successful interview. The first one is research the company. Organizations look to hire people with similar values to those of the company culture. Researching about a company before an interview will give you an insight into the organization's future goals and plans. And being able to discuss these points will make you to seem like a long-term investment to your future employer. The next one is practice interviewing. Take time to answer interview questions you will probably be asked. Practice interviewing with a friend or a family member ahead of time, and it will be more easier when you are actually in a job interview.
While attending an interview, you have to be very careful on what you're doing or what should we don't. So, first let's look upon what should we do for an interview. While attending an interview, we have to be very careful about the time. We have to be punctual enough because the interview panel is having a lot of candidates to be interviewed. We should never make them wait for us, so be on time. Next, we have to dress appropriately. Many of the companies, especially like technical companies, will be asked to wear casual wears. But for most, it is recommended to wear a suit. And please keep in mind that our appearance is first judged before our presentation. So please dress appropriately. Next, create a rapport between the interview panel. Be interactive enough with the interview panel so that you will be noted for their selection process. Act appropriately is the next topic, in which, for example, if they offers you hand for shake, then make a shake there. Or else, please don't offer your hands until and unless they are interested to it. So please act accordingly in an interview panel. Last but the most important point is answering the questions. The questions being asked by the interview panel should be answered properly and clearly. Along with, you have to state relevant examples that support your answers. So answer the questions with relevant examples too. So we should be on time, act accordingly, dress appropriately, get interacted with the interview panel, and last, answer the questions with example. These are the 5 main points to be noted while attending an interview, or you should do while attending an interview. Next, we can look upon what should we don't do while attending an interview. Don't be afraid to blow your trumpet. After all, no one else is going to blow it for you. However, please don't exaggerate or lie. If you want the job, be positive and enthusiastic. So be confident enough to face the interview panel. The second important thing to be noted is that while attending an interview, you should not pass or you should not share too much of information to the interview panel. They just need precise and clear-cut answers as they require. So please be particular enough to answer the questions properly, precisely and correctly as required by the panel.
Hey there, going for an interview? Well, I know you are going to conceal more than you dreamed about. Expect the unexpected, right? But going for an interview without much expectations? I think that's going to be hard. We need to expect certain things before we go in for an interview. and we need to mentally and physically be prepared before we facing an interview panel. So, what do you expect in an interview? Yeah, I'm Unimaya Devan here to help you through that. The first thing you need to expect is the number of the interviewers that you are going to face. How many interviewers will be waiting for you? The letter that invites you to the interview will probably state who will be interviewing you. That's often 3 to 5 people in an interview panel because that helps to remove the individual bias. And don't be surprised to walk in and find a room full of people waiting for you. Probably one will take the lead and explain who will be asking questions and the role of the others in the interview. The second factor that is expected in an interview is a presentation. If you've been invited to give a presentation, then you will probably be asked to do it immediately after your introduction. So be prepared for that. And if there is a given time period for your presentation, keep it to it. The presentation during an interview is for showcasing your presentation talent. Our presentation skill is an unavoidable factor during an interview.
Our own presentation skill. Presenting information clearly and effectively is a key skill in getting your message across. Today, presentation skills are required in almost every field, and most of us are required to give presentation on occasion. While some people take this in their stride, others find this much challenging. It is, however, possible to improve your presentation skill with a bit of a work. Like we say, practice makes man perfect.
The third and final factor, which is expected in an interview, are the type of questions. The interviewers tend to ask easy ice-breaking questions like, what are you doing in your current job? Or why do you apply for this job? If you are well prepared, you will be ready to answer this. The modern interviews are competency-based, which means they are focusing on your skill and the way you approach your problem. And if you are inexperienced, be ready to say, well, I did not get a chance to do it yet, but I would have done this in that situation. And if you are interviewed for an unexperienced field, the interviewers tend to ask hypothetical questions and the way you approach a problem. That means they know that you are inexperienced, but they are still giving you a chance. So be ready to face common questions asked by the interviewers.
Hi there! Welcome everyone, I'm Jeena Saji. So today in this session, you're going to learn about how to groom yourself before you go for an interview. Why grooming is so important? Yes, grooming is so important because before you present your resume to the interviewer, you are going to be judged by the way you look, how you carry yourself. So, grooming is so important, just like your resume. Now let's get into the topic. We can start from the hair. For men, your hair should be neat and clean. Or the best option is go for a haircut before you attend an interview. For females, the same thing is applied. It should be neat and clean. If you want to tie your hair on the back side, it will be the best. You can use hair clips but not wide and jassy, but it should look professional. If you want your hair to be open, you can go for it, but make sure you blow dry your hair or make sure your hair is not covering your face. Because covering your face shows lack of confidence. So make sure your hair is not covering your face. Next is very important thing, your watch. Your watch should look professional. Leather belt is preferred as it gives a professional look. Fancy watches which having lot of decorations are not preferred. I'm going to talk about the most important part, that is your attire. You should be formally dressed. For men, your shirt need to be crisp, well ironed, long sleeve, and if you like prints, you can go for a small check in your shirt. You should wear formal trousers and formal shoes. Make sure your belt is of same color as your shoes and your purse. For females, you can wear formal shirts, formal trousers or formal skirts. You can also wear kurtis and you can also wear churidar, but make sure your dupatta should be pinned in one side or the two sides.
Next, we can talk about the makeup part. Perfume. You as a person should smell good. Perfume makes you feel better and be more confident, especially when you're wearing a nice fragrance. But make sure you should not wear a strong fragrance because some people have allergies to strong fragrances. Moving on to the lipstick. Your lipstick should be light shade. Avoid using bright colors like dark red, orange, or purple. It should not be glossy. Go for a nude lipstick. Eye shades. Your eye shade should not be glittery. Your overall makeup should be light and professional.
Last but not least, wear a smile on your face. It really looks perfect and pleasant. It really makes you look you're very confident. Your interviewer is expecting a smile from you. So don't forget to smile.
At the end of the interview, you will probably be asked if you have any questions. And it is a good idea to ask more details about the organization and also your role in the organization. Perhaps if you don't have any such questions, please make them clear that you know about the organization well and that you are interested to work for them. Considering the safety of the interview panel along with the candidates, the recruitment process of an organization is being conducted online and it is also called as remote interview. These remote interviews are being conducted via applications such as Google Meet, Zoom and other platforms. While attending a remote interview, you have to be very careful about three main points. The first thing is be alone. Be private enough that you will be able to interact with the interview panel without any sort of disturbance. And next thing is selecting the background wisely. Select a background which looks pleasant. Not should be colorful. Try to manage the background. The next thing is think about your non-verbal communications. Though you are attending from your comfort zone, please don't make an advantage of doing whatever you want or what you are showing. Please make a control on what your non-verbal communications are or your body languages. So please be sure about these 3 points while attending a remote interview. Be alone, select a background wisely, and think about your non-verbal communications or control your non-verbal communications.
Hope everyone understood how to prepare, present yourself, and participate in an interview effectively. Thank you and have a nice day.